Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Tango Oscar Mike. I am here at the county's hangar at the Washington County Airport for the S.E.T drill. I'm getting set up early. There is a net at 9 o'clock, and that net is going to give us instructions for what tasks we have to accomplish for the drill. I'm not expecting any big shockers. So I have my HF radio set up. I have a 2-meter radio set up. There should be some other people coming, but I need to get the instructions from the 9 o'clock net to know exactly what some of our goals are. I've got some noise here. It's pretty high, but I've already talked to net control and I can hear them pretty clearly without any trouble, so I'm not worried about that. I don't know how much it'll affect digital communications on HF, but we can try. I got my Bioeno battery, the TX500 for HF, and then I have a Yaesu, what is a 8900R, and I'm going to get my Raspberry Pi set up, and I have a Raspberry Pi for that one too, and a little remote screen. I'm going to get that all hooked up and get that all running. I have a, if you look up, let's see, I have a roll-up J-pull about halfway up this mast, and then at the top I have a linked dipole, and I added my links for 80 meters, and it's coming out at 1-to-1 on the thing. And like I said, and I talked to Net Control, and they said I was 5.9 plus with 10 watts from the TX500, although he's pretty close to me right now. But this is 80 meters, so it's probably a line of sight with him maybe. But I'm just getting everything set up. And we'll see what's going on. The airport's right over there. I've already had some helicopter noise this morning and some airplane noise, so we'll see how it goes. I brought my heater in case I needed it, but it's really, I think it's about 35 degrees out, but the sun is out, which makes it feel so much warmer. Mike, if you've noticed the bed of the truck, I've added something to my Diamondback cover, which I love. I love the Diamondback cover for just the security it gives with the bed. Once that's on and the tailgate's up and locked, it would be very hard for somebody to get in there. Even if they broke the windows and got into the cab, they still couldn't get into the back of the truck. So I like that security. I know it's not 100%, but at least it's a peace of mind. So I've added this Yakima rack. I got this from Diamondback Covers as well. They give you the adapter rails. It was actually pretty easy to install. Sorry I didn't film it, but you just drill holes, mount the rails, and then the rack goes up, the crossbars, and that's the Yakima J-Lo canoe holder or kayak holder. Me and my wife are in the process of getting some kayaks. We're going to be doing some kayak this summer with a group that she belongs to. So we're getting that set up, and so we'll be putting kayaks up on the roof. But I need to get finished setting up for the drill, and we'll go from there. I should be able to take this out of there for now. Let's get these. Hey guys, it's Tango Oscar Mike. I am back home from the simulated emergency test exercise. It went well. We didn't have as much participation as we would like for these drills. We had 4 people come to the remote command center that we set up. Everything worked for me. I had HF capabilities, VHF capabilities, digital capabilities. I did some digital. We passed some digital traffic, which is good. But yeah, let me pull this over here. I'm letting Augie run a little bit. So where we were is a county facility where they store a bunch of stuff for emergencies. There's vehicles in there. There's portable shower systems, all kinds of stuff. So there's lots of stuff there. We were in the parking lot. There was some noise on HF, and we're right next to the airport. In fact, there were planes and helicopters flying around, and there was a bunch of cable company trucks driving up and down the road. They were digging and doing some work around there. I don't know if they were causing the noise or what, but we had some noise. One of our members brought out his communications trailer, and the issue we had with that is he brought a generator, and it was actually a very noisy generator. We actually moved it as far away and on the other side of his communications trailer as we could, because I was set up on my tailgate of the truck with a chair, and I honestly had a hard time hearing the radios. It was so loud.
I actually don't like generators. I know some of them are really, you can get some really quiet ones. I have a really quiet Honda that's big, but his communications trailer is full featured, so he needs a bigger generator. It's just a very loud generator. He has heat and air, power, a bunch of stuff that he needs electricity for. So it was just louder than I would like it to be in one of those situations. I would rather have see a big battery bank running, your heat or something, or even a propane type heater system, than I would a big generator like that. We had a couple of newer hams come out and help. We passed, like I said, we passed a bunch of simulated traffic, and it went pretty well. The simulation was that we had freezing rains, the roads were icy, a tractor trailer had been hit by a train at a crossing, and there was some derailment, and there was a strong odor in the area. And that was kind of the scenario that we were supposed to be based off of. Heavy fog, you couldn't see for very far. We Because it was a simulation, we didn't do a lot of things that you do in a real emergency. We had somebody, they had requested that we send somebody to a fire station that was actually quite a bit a distance away. And with gas prices the way they were, I made the call that, and we only had, like I said, 4 people acting as command. I made the call that I didn't want to send somebody. I didn't want to ask somebody to go there with the way gas prices are, drive down there just as a simulation. If it was a real emergency, no problem. One of those guys would jump in their car and not even have thought about it. But for a simulation, it's hard to get that kind of commitment from people to do that kind of stuff, and I can't blame them. Today is the first day of trout, so we had quite a few members that said that they wouldn't be available because they were going trout fishing. And again, it's one of those things. It's bad timing, and I don't mind. I understand them wanting to do that. One of them actually did check in from the creek on his radio, so he did that. But it went well, and we'll see how things go. I was going to do the Parks on the Air weekend. We were going to do a club Parks on the Air activation at one of the local parks. But it is Easter weekend, and after talking to quite a few people, they're not going to be available. People have family coming in from out of town and everything else. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. But we had great weather, not fantastic weather, but great weather. The temperature is about 50 degrees, but it was sunny the whole time we were out there, which was really nice. I made it feel a lot warmer than it was. And yeah, so we got it done. I used, sorry, I broke everything down and I didn't film while we were there. Being the person in charge, I'm literally so busy that I had the camera set up on a tripod behind me and completely forgot to turn it on. I should have just turned it on and record just for some B-roll or something, but I got so busy. And once I was on the air trying to make communications with other areas, establish interoperability communication with other counties. But it gets busy and it gets a little crazy. Plus, I had 2 new people there who were asking a lot of questions, which I think is fantastic. It's how you learn, it's how you improve. But it was just too busy for me to film. And then when we broke down, broke down and of course got out of there. Like I said, I'm finishing unloading the truck here, cleaning up the truck. Get my throat line out of here. But everything went well. And the way these drills, the simulated emergency test, if there's one in your area, I encourage you to participate, because this is as close to a real disaster as we can get, and how communications were, which is why normally we've done these from home, but this time I wanted to set up a remote command station. And try to get people to come there and act like a command and control center. But we really just didn't have quite enough people to do it the way I wanted to. But hopefully, I think the fall S.E.T goes a little better, and I think we get more participation. So we'll see what happens then. But I think it's important to be involved with your community. I mean, if you're a ham radio operator and you're building a go box and you're trying to run portable communications, that kind of stuff, but you don't participate in these emergency disaster tests, um, I'm going to want the people who participate in these events to help me when if there's a disaster. Um, I don't care how much money you put in your go box or whatever you have. If you show up at a real disaster, but you haven't put in the time to drill and train with other people, um, you're going to be my last pick. You have to use the equipment to see, to make sure that it works and you can do what you need to do, but you also need to be able to work with other people. And the only way to do that, big hawk just flew out of the tree. And the only way to do that, the only way to be able to do that is if you practice with other people. So if you're interested in that kind of communications and emergency communications and you think you're going to be involved if the shit does hit the fan, you need to come out and drill and practice. It's just That's just my opinion. But I think that's all I have. This is Tango Oscar Mike, 73. Take care. What are you doing? Was you digging?
Tango Oscar Mike.